Mindfulness is so beneficial for you, for your business, for everything, especially if you are doing a market launch. In today's video, I'm going to tell you my special recommendations for mindfulness in business, practice that I do every day for every activity in my life, and I feel is so beneficial for me, and I hope it is for you. I'm going to tell you 3 things today. Why to be mindful in business, what to do to be mindful in business, and how to do it. We need to be more mindful simply because it is really beneficial to be present in the here, in the now, everywhere, whatever we are doing, whatever we are doing, wherever we are going. In business, this is really beneficial, not only because it gives you way more intention, it gives you way more consciousness about every single activity that you are performing, but also it allows you to be more open to new opportunities. It allows you to see what happens in the industry, in your market, in your neighborhood, wherever you are, so you can recognize more opportunities for growth for yourself and for your business. That's why it's so important. Now, what is exactly the practice in business and how can we do it? Of course, that depends on every person. And now mindfulness is a very often practice. So people do it. People actually learn in a regular and systematic way to apply mindfulness to many activities. You can actually be mindful to be seated. You can be mindful to just observing your reality. So mindfulness is simply being in a very, very open state with all your senses and your mind and soul put into the present and every activity that you are achieving. So how can we be mindful in business, especially if you are doing a market launch like us? I am recording this video in July, which means this is the middle point of the year. And we are actually releasing this video when there are only 47 days for our market launch event. This means that we still have some time left, but the time is actually clicking, the clock is ticking, and we still have many things to do and many activities to get done. And one can approach this by being very hectic, by being very stressed, by simply go over and over the to-do lists and simply check every day what has been done and what needs to be done. That's a way. Actually, that was my old self doing it. I mean, that was my way a few years back, perhaps in Colombia, when I was just working in the corporate world. I simply never stopped working. I simply continued this, I will say, automatic behavior of simply work, performing without much reflection on what was happening before or what I was actually doing at the time and what I was going. So we did have planning, we did have a strategic planning very often, but once you started the project, we just didn't stop. It was just like this crazy wheel, and sometimes we felt like, or I felt like it was this hamster in the wheel kind of thing, where it was just massive performing, high performing. Sometimes I got these migraines. Very often my body was sometimes telling me, you need to stop. And I didn't listen. And it was difficult sometimes. And I didn't have children back then. I was like in a different mode. But I think I was in a very over-performing mode because that's how I liked it to do. I just felt that working, it was just the only way. And that's okay. I'm not judging that. I'm not saying that's wrong. I am just saying that that was the old me. Now, for my new circumstances, I think I don't like to be like that anymore. I like to be more mindful of my time, of my energy. I feel that my energy needs to be kept and used in a more wise and mindful way because I need to be well for my kids. I need to be well for myself. I need to be well for everybody around me. So I prefer to be more mindful, to do less things, but a bit more proper, a bit more at peace with calm, without stress, and with a lot of joy. So that's why I got into mindfulness. I got into this idea of holistic entrepreneurship that for me simply means to connect with your heart, to connect with people in a more, let's say, well-being oriented way, just taking care of yourself first. Now, how do you do it? How I do it, and I recommend you to do, is simply to stop at some point in your day, in your week, and make a conscious pause to reflect where you are at this moment, in the middle of a year, or in the middle of the month, or in the middle of a day. It doesn't matter, actually. We are just always in the middle of something. And sometimes it actually appears like we are in the middle of the hurricane because so many things happen when we feel this tension coming from everywhere. Well, I don't know if you have seen these films where actually the hurricane passes and you are in the middle and there is some sort of pause and peace, and you feel like, wow, something's happening, and then it passes and it's again this massive dynamics, right? So it doesn't matter where you are. If you're very stressed at the moment, if you have many things to do, simply take a moment to make an honest, conscious pause, a break, to reflect where you are, and most importantly, to connect with your heart. How I do it is with cacao. I love cacao, maybe because I'm Colombian and we have a great cacao there. The relationship with cacao and me has been like for many years. Actually, when I feel a bit down, when I feel that I need a little bit of push of energy, hot chocolate is my answer, and dark or chocolate is my answer. My friends know this, so they always give me dark chocolate with nuts is my favorite. And actually, I make it in a very special way, very dark, very condensed, with a bit of spiciness. So you can add ginger, you can add cinnamon, you can add cardamom, or just like that. A little bit of spicy things can be, chili flakes can be also nice. You can also add eatable rose petals. Those are really nice. It doesn't matter really. Actually, if you don't like cacao, you can also have something else. It's just like my way. So you start making this nice drink for yourself. Then you can set up or light up a candle. I love candles, and I always put it to set up an intention for the moment, like a little bit of a ceremony for this time with myself, just to make the whole atmosphere a little bit more special, so my whole body knows that we are kind of in a special way to make a stop and reflect. Then you make very conscious breath to connect with yourself, be mindful with the environment, and try to reflect what has happening to you, what has been happening to you in the last months. So for me, I just make this every time of middle points to see what has happened the previous half. So I've been doing this week to reflect how many things I have achieved the last semester. And for me, it has been great. I think we have done many things with the community. We have done great things with my team, great things with my family, with the kids, with the house. And I just like to reflect on that. Then I like to celebrate. So I actually like to put those things in a more reflective way, but also to show myself that I have done this. It's like achievements for me. I don't communicate that to anybody, actually. I just put it there. But I just put it there. It is important to put it there, to say it. Like, come on, you have done this. You have achieved this. It's good. Even, to implement a good laundry system in the flat. So now we are, much better, and we have always clean laundry in our shelves. For me, that was an achievement because it was really messy, and I really tried hard to implement it, to organize it in a way. And it's still, with some flaws, but I love it like it is because it's organized and, it has a structure. I think those are big achievements for us that we need to celebrate. So even if it's a small thing, it's not a small thing. It can be a big thing if you let it be. That's how I do it. Drinking cocoa, drinking hot chocolate, maybe maybe enjoying something really nice for you. Actually, it doesn't matter, but I think it's really, really important to take the time to reflect how you have been doing in business, how you have been doing in life, how you have been doing in general. Even if it is very, very hard at the moment for you, if you feel that the hurricane is very intense, I am sure that if you deeply reflect, you will find a lot of nice and positive things to be grateful for, to recognize you for, and to celebrate you for. So today, my invitation is to celebrate those achievements, to recognize yourself, to hug yourself, and to be kind. Not only because it's Mercury retrograde, by the way, we need to be more mindful and kind to ourselves, but also because nobody else does it for you if you don't do it to yourself. So take the time, be mindful, make a break, recognize yourself, and then somehow you create this lovely energy that makes you keep going for the next half of the year. In my case, we will have 47 days to our market launch, 10th of September. I can't be happier, more excited, and now with more energy than ever because it's going to be awesome. I am very sure of that. So I will keep you posted. Please keep being inspired and don't forget to subscribe, give us a like. We are a big theme behind this. It's not only me. It's a wonderful team of human beings that I just want to recognize. So to Malu, Lucia, Arlette, Avi, Joanna, this one is for you. Thank you for being there for me. I love you guys. Keep being inspired.